So today we're going to talk about whether or not advertising in Vegas has gone way too far. In this video, we're going to discuss what's going on for Super Bowl here in town and how some of the most iconic buildings in the city have been completely transformed into something unrecognizable. With one of these features that has been a mainstay in Vegas since 1989 completely losing its identity altogether, and a lot of people worried that that might signal the end of a legacy in this town. So we're going to talk about what's going on today at the Luxor, the Delano. We're going to talk about the Bellagio fountains, and we're also going to talk about the Mirage. And advertising is a big thing in Vegas, and I'm not against advertising. As a matter of fact, I sell advertising for a local media company here in town that does a local publication called My Vegas Magazine, and I'm fine with advertising. As a matter of fact, I've told you in my past videos, if you want your message on my videos, you want to hit 10,000 people on my channel, I will guarantee you 10,000 viewers to your brand, your message. So if you want to do business with me in that sense, and you want to be in my videos within the first few minutes so people will know more about you and what you're doing, email me. It's right on the screen. Let's talk about getting you some advertising. And nllvcontact@gmail.com. We can talk about how to get you more exposure. But getting exposure is one thing, and what's happening on the Strip is another. So be sure to subscribe to this channel because my name is Steven. I'm not leaving Las Vegas, and I give you news and views and an analysis of the Strip like nobody else here with all the different Vegas channels. I feel that's my strength. So subscribe right now as we talk about in order of least to most offensive. We're going to start off, of course, with the Delano. Now, the Delano Hotel is no slouch in Vegas. It used to be called the Hotel at Mandalay Bay, still home to the Four Seasons. And the Delano is a brand that just leases the building. And it's also a brand that now has a Pepsi wrap on the top of the building. Pepsi. Now, Pepsi is not that offensive. Who cares, right? I mean, there is one thing, though. If you are staying at the penthouse at the Delano, which is incredibly expensive, and you might even just be a high roller suite for whales. I did a review on that suite several years ago. You should check it out on this channel. You probably don't like the fact that now your view is obstructed by a giant building wrap. These wraps are see-through, of course. They're not a big LED light like what's happening at Resorts World on the side of their building with little holes punched through it for little windows experiences like you're in a prison cell. But it does detract from your views. So have you ever stayed, question for you first question, have you ever stayed at a hotel in Vegas with one of those wraps, and did it detract from your views, or did you not care because you just crashed in the room? So the Delano is not overly offensive, but moving next door, we do have to talk about what's probably the cheesiest looking, and I use that pun liberally, of all of these, which would be the giant Dorito, aka the Luxor. Now, the Luxor is a storied property. If you ever see a silhouette of Vegas, there's a good chance that of all the buildings, Luxor stands out most prominently. One of the most popular videos on this channel is a video talking about the rumor that the Luxor will be torn down. I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I don't think that's going to happen. It's not sinking into the ground. If they can build Allegiant Stadium, which is a heavier type of building behind it, the Luxor is just fine. But they have turned it into a giant Dorito chip. So cheesy pun intended. Now, I get it. Doritos are triangular shaped. I get it. You're going to see it coming in from the airplane. I understand this is something we can all blame Resorts World on because they made the world's largest TV display for advertising. And then the Sphere is the newest thing. But come on, seriously. I mean, look, I'm all for a good little kind of play on advertising. One side is Michelob Ultra, the rest are the Dorito chip. And, you know, a lot of people are like, this is just too far. But following up the road, something that is going to detract from you and as the next level up on the scale of kind of lousy stuff about these advertising gimmicks, it's not really an advertising gimmick as much, but the Bellagio, the lake at the Bellagio, of course. The lake at the Bellagio is going to be serving as the central broadcast area on television. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, oh boy, here we go again. The F1 took all of these views away. And yeah, I mean, I don't know that they'll be running the fountains on the day of the Super Bowl, but this isn't too dissimilar to what the NHL did when they had the All-Star game here and they had skills competitions and stuff on the lakes of the Bellagio. It's a good platform, and I do imagine, though, it's going to become a very, very, very high security area with various celebrities and athletes and course, the broadcasters. So I don't imagine you're going to see much if you actually come to Vegas to see the Bellagio that weekend. But you're here. It's the Super Bowl. You're paying, on average, $10,000 a ticket. By the way, I'm going to talk about that. So you should subscribe to this channel because we're going to be covering the Super Bowl and all the craziness around it in the next little while. So you guys can know how absurd and wonderful and crazy and sometimes not wonderful it is. I don't pull punches here. Subscribe for more. But yeah, the Super Bowl tickets are incredibly expensive, and it's going to be high level access to the Bellagio for that weekend, which is really unfortunate. But it's not as unfortunate as what's happening up the road with, and I hate to say it, this one does actually put a bug in my craw. This does actually get me a little frustrated. Dismantling and redeveloping the Mirage Volcano as the Paramount Global Village. Now, let me explain, okay? If you guys watch any kind of media or you consume movies or television, there's a good chance that some of that content you're seeing is from a company called Paramount Global. Now, Paramount, you know the logo. It's on the screen right now. You know what this is all about. And Paramount is a massive media company. And they're in the streaming wars right now against HBO Max and Netflix and Tubi and Hulu and everything else you can imagine, YouTube TV, YouTube itself, as you're watching on this platform. And they're not doing all that well. So what they're doing is they are trying to create brand awareness
by dismantling the Mirage Volcano and building a giant mountain in the shape of the Paramount Plus logo right on top of it.
Reminding everybody that, hey, if you want to watch old episodes of Star Trek, which are excellent, or new episodes of Star Trek, which in my opinion are terrible, or South Park or Dora the Explorer or any of these other shows like Yellowstone, you have to watch Paramount Plus. It's going to be an interactive village that's going to be set up for people to do sports and fan experiences. There's going to be a gondola, and they've dismantled the Mirage Volcano because of this. Now, if you don't know, you might not know, the Mirage Volcano is not long for this world. It's going to be torn down and replaced with a giant guitar-shaped hotel tower at some point in the future. It was running and not dismantled for the F1 because the F1 organizers wanted that beautiful centerpiece, but it was still kind of obscured by lots of different seats and grandstands. But a lot of people are worried that you've just basically written the death sentence for the Mirage, because if you're going to partially dismantle this thing and build a giant mountain on top of it, what's to say that you're going to bother to put it back together? Is the opportunity to see the Mirage Volcano gone? Is it gone forever? We don't know yet, and nobody is saying anything. As David Hookstead probably rightly states, this might be a bridge too far. That's his exact quotes. And some people are upset about this, but I'm curious to know if you're upset about this. I mean, we're going to cover some of the different aspects of the Super Bowl coming up and a lead up to the big event. I'm looking forward to being there with you guys, and I hope that you guys would enjoy it for what it's worth. A giant global type of event that gets seen around the world, not just in the United States, but will be either a complete disaster or something completely worthwhile. So stay tuned to the channel because we're going to be making that video and asking that big question. Will the F1 be a complete disaster and well as the Super Bowl, or will the Super Bowl come out on top as a better event? There's some crazy stuff happening. I'm happy to bring you the news. My name is Steven. You tell me in the comments below if you think these things are total disasters or if they're good for the city. I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I appreciate you guys watching the best part of my day. Now's the time of the video when I say 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and click.